Anthony Davis is back, and I'm telling you, the numbers don't lie. In just 27 minutes, he dropped 12 points on 6 out of 9 shooting. That's super efficient. And even though he wasn't out there the whole game, you could feel the difference right away. He grabbed 6 rebounds too. 3 of those were defensive, and the rest came on the offensive end, giving Dallas a couple extra chances they really needed. I love how active he stayed, even with limited minutes. And it didn't stop there. He dished out 3 assists, showing that he's not just scoring, but getting others involved. On the defense, he added a steal and a block. 1 steal and 1 block might not sound wild, but considering the Mavs hadn't held anyone under 50 by halftime since late February, his presence clearly did something. And guess what? The last time they did that was the only other time Davis suited up for them. That can't be a coincidence. The Mavericks led by 19 points at one point and went into the breakup 62-48. And Davis was right in the mix for it all. This squad had gone 6-12 without him since the trade that sent Luka packing, but now they're 35-37 and just above Phoenix in that play-in race. He didn't need to take over the scoring to impact the game either. He just stood there literally, and the Mavs looked way more locked in. It's wild how just having him on the floor helps the entire flow of their defense and overall rhythm. This wasn't one of those massive scoring nights from AD, but it didn't have to be. He came in and gave them what they've been missing: efficiency, rim protection, solid rebounding, and real stability. That front court combo with Derek Lively and PJ Washington could be tough to get anything against inside. With Kyrie out and the lineup constantly shifting, this kind of performance gives Dallas something to build off. They've got time left to see how the rest of the squad gels with Davis, and that info could shape the entire summer. 12 points, 6 boards, 3 dimes, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 of 9 from the floor in only 27 minutes. Yeah, he's not at full speed yet, but if this is the early version, just wait until he's got his legs under him. That defense held the Nets to under 50 points and a half for the first time since February 27th. The only other time before that, February 8th. That was the one game Davis had already played for the Mavericks. It's wild how consistent that stat is when he's out there. They didn't need him to be explosive. They just needed him to be available. And now he is. If Dallas gets even a handful more games like this, they'll have a real shot to hold off Phoenix and lock in that play-in spot. And like I said, this was only 27 minutes. With a bit more time, those stat lines are probably only going up. Every number on the box score tonight mattered. Not one thing was wasted. He made the most of every single minute. You could see the balance his presence gave to the whole roster. With him back, the rotations made more sense. Guys didn't need to overextend, and the Mavs finally looked like a team again, not just a bunch of pieces. This game didn't need a highlight reel from Davis. It just needed structure, and that's exactly what he brought. He didn't chase anything. He let the game come to him, and he picked his spots like a pro. That 6 of 9 from the field, though, that's just crazy efficient. The man barely missed, and you know what that tells me? He's not forcing shots, not hunting stats, just playing smart ball and taking what the defense gives him. Even though Kyrie's injury limits their playoff ceiling, this version of the Mavericks can still compete. They just needed someone to anchor the middle, and now they've got that back. What's also worth pointing out is how fresh he looked. After missing 18 straight games, you'd expect some rust, right? But no, he came out and put up one of the most balanced stat lines of the night across the league. This isn't just about scoring anymore. He's affecting every part of the game. The way he helped clog the paint, cleaned up boards, and spaced the floor just by being out there. It's all huge for Dallas. That 12, 6, and 3 stat line looks small on paper, but in context, it means everything for a team that's been hanging on without its stars. Davis didn't need to do it all himself, but his presence clearly unlocked what this team was missing. Holding Brooklyn to only 101 points? Yeah, that's not happening without him on the court. That 1 block and 1 steal? Those were tone setters. They might seem small, but those plays helped flip the entire game's energy. By the way, if you guys want to watch a more fun style of video, I started a new channel. For the first video, I go over every NBA championship. So I go over the Dirk Mavs ring, of course. I left a link to the first video in the description, pinned comment, and I'll leave a link at the end of this video if you want to finish this one first. I'd genuinely appreciate if you could check this channel out. Thanks. Anyways, and those 6 rebounds weren't just long bounces either. He boxed out, timed them, and gave the Mavs the chance to run and build that early 19-point lead. It all added up fast. That 35-37 record now puts them half a game ahead of the Suns. And with Davis back in the mix, that lead might actually grow instead of shrink down the stretch. I'm not saying he's going to play 40 minutes every night, but if 27 minutes can get you 12 points on 6 of 9 shooting, plus a bunch of everything else, you're in good shape. It wasn't about flash. It was about doing exactly what the team needed. The impact went way beyond the box score, but the numbers alone still told the story loud and clear. From his defensive timing, to his passing reads, to the way he helped set the tone from tip-off, Davis was everywhere without needing to dominate the ball. And that's what makes his return so valuable. With just a handful of games left, Dallas knows exactly what they're getting when Davis is on the court. And based on what we saw tonight, it's exactly what they need. But I think people might be underestimating how well this is going to work in Dallas. And it gets very obvious when you look at the advanced stats. Let's start with the scoring. Also, I gotta show Lakers highlights because the dude has like 5 minutes of Mavs highlights so far. Anyways, Anthony Davis is putting up 25.7 a night, and he's doing it with a true shooting percentage of 59.9. That means every time he takes a scoring attempt, he's getting 1.2 points, which is insane for a guy taking 18 shots a game. Now here's where it gets wild. Kyrie is right there with him at 24.4 a game and a true shooting percentage of 59.4, also getting 1.2 points per attempt. That means two of the most efficient scorers in the league are on the same team, and they play completely different style. And then there's Klay Thompson, adding 13.7 a game with a 56.1 true shooting percentage. He's getting 1.1 points per scoring attempt, which is still better than over half the league. The craziest part, all three are putting up nearly the same efficiency, but their shot selection couldn't be more different. Davis is doing it by dominating inside, knocking down nearly 9 two-pointers a game while barely taking threes. Kyrie is mixing in 6 two-pointers and nearly 3 threes, using a perfect balance of inside and perimeter scoring. Klay, he's drilling 3 three-pointers a game while barely even taking free throws. The variety in their scoring is ridiculous, yet they're all converting their chances at a ridiculously high rate. Now, look at their effective field goal percentages. Davis is sitting at 54.6, which is better than 60% of the league. Kyrie, even higher at 55.8, putting him ahead of 66% of players. And Klay, despite taking way fewer shots, is still right at 54.6. That means when any of them take a shot, it's one of the most efficient looks on the floor. But here's where Davis stands out. He's taking 18 shots a game, the most out of all three, but he's still more efficient than almost everyone. And when you put him next to Kyrie, who's also taking 18 shots but in a completely different way, defenses can't load up on one guy. If they collapse on Davis, Kyrie's there to hit a pull-up jumper or drive inside. If they try to stop Kyrie, Davis is just waiting to get another easy bucket inside. And Klay, he's parked at the three-point line, waiting for the defense to make a mistake so he can drain another three. Davis is already outscoring nearly 73% of the league. And now, he's got a shooter in Klay, who's better than nearly 80% of players, and a perimeter star in Kyrie, who's ahead of 60%. Defenses won't know what to do. Davis is getting to the free throw line 7.6 times a game, Kyrie is getting 4, and Klay is barely even getting there. That means Davis is the one forcing the defense to react, and once they do, Kyrie and Klay are right there to take advantage. But then we can do the exact same for their teamwork stats. Anthony Davis isn't just putting up elite numbers. His impact is undeniable. His net rating is sitting at plus 1.4, meaning when he's on the floor, his team is outscoring opponents. That's huge when you consider he's going up against top-tier competition every night. And here's where it gets even crazier. Kyrie is at plus 3.7, Klay Thompson is at plus 5.9, and PJ Washington is sitting at plus 4.9. That means every single one of these guys is making a positive impact. And Davis is right in the middle of it all, forcing defenses to react. Offensively, Davis has a 115.4 offensive rating, meaning his team is scoring at an elite level when he's on the court. Kyrie is even higher at 119.1, Klay is at 118.4, and PJ Washington is at 117.2. That means when these four are playing together, the offense is going to be relentless. The best part, Davis isn't just an elite scorer, he's also making everyone around him better. Now, look at their defensive ratings. Davis is at 114.0, which isn't elite, but when you compare it to Kyrie's 115.4, Klay's 112.5, and PJ Washington's 112.3, it shows how their roles are perfectly balanced. Klay and PJ are holding down the perimeter, while Davis is anchoring the paint. That means Davis isn't just a scorer, he's setting up a defensive foundation that lets his teammates focus on their strengths. And then there's the on-off impact. When Davis is on the court, his team is outscoring opponents by 2.2 points per 100 possessions. That's a massive swing in a game. Kyrie is right behind at plus 2.1, and PJ Washington is at plus 2.7. But Klay, he's sitting at plus 5.4. That means when he's on the floor, his team is dominating. And when you combine that with Davis' presence, the impact is even bigger. The wildest stat? Games with a positive plus minus. Davis is winning 57.1% of the time when he's on the floor. Kyrie is at 56.1%. Clay is at 60%. And PJ Washington leads with 61.9%. That means every single one of these guys is helping their team win more often than not. And Davis is the one in the middle of it all, drawing attention, creating spacing, and giving the team a legit two-way force inside. This isn't just about one guy carrying the load. This is about Davis being in a system where everyone is playing at an elite level, and he's the one holding everything together. His scoring efficiency is already one of the best in the league, but now he's surrounded by a team that's outscoring opponents at an elite rate. That means he doesn't have to do it all alone. He's got teammates who can take the pressure off while still letting him dominate inside. Davis' offensive rating might not be as high as Kyrie's or Clay's, but that's because he's doing the dirty work. He's taking high volume shots, drawing defenders, and getting to the free throw line. And while Kyrie is more efficient on the perimeter and Clay is stretching the floor, Davis is the one forcing the defense to collapse. That's why his net rating is still positive, because when he's on the court, the game is completely different. And the scariest part, the combination of all four players means no team can load up on one guy. If they try to shut down Davis inside, Kyrie and Clay are ready to knock down shots. If they focus on the perimeter, Davis is getting easy buckets at the rim. And if they try to take them all out, PJ Washington is sitting there waiting for open looks. Every single lineup with Davis is going to be a problem, because his presence alone forces teams to make impossible choices. It's not just about scoring, it's about the total impact. Davis is outscoring almost everyone, playing elite efficiency ball and setting up teammates to thrive. Kyrie and Clay are already some of the most efficient perimeter players in the league, and now they have a dominant inside presence to make their lives easier. In Washington, he's quietly putting up an elite net rating while thriving in this system. Every stat is pointing to the same thing. Davis isn't just going to be good in Dallas. He's about to be the key to unlocking one of the most unstoppable offenses in the league. Every lineup he's in is going to put pressure on the defense, and every possession is going to force teams to make a tough decision. And when the numbers are this good, there's only one way this is going, straight to the top. But then let's talk about the ball handling. Anthony Davis isn't just dominating as a scorer, he's also a sneaky good playmaker, and the numbers prove it. His assist percentage is sitting at 16.89, meaning nearly 17% of his team's made shots while he's on the floor come from his passes. That's insane for a guy who's taking 21.5 scoring attempts per game. He's setting up teammates for 8.1 points per night, which is more than most big men in the league. But here's the craziest part. Kyrie, one of the best ball handlers in the league, is assisting 11.3 points per game with an assist percentage of 20.04. That means even though Kyrie is handling the ball more, Davis is still playing a major role in setting up his teammates. And then there's Spencer Dinwiddie, who's assisting 9.3 points per game with an even higher assist percentage of 21.13. That means Dinwiddie, despite taking fewer shots, is still finding ways to get his teammates buckets, making him a perfect complement to both Davis and Kyrie. But the best part, none of these guys are turning the ball over at a high rate. Davis is only turning it over 2.2 times per game, which gives him a turnover percentage of just 8.19. That means out of every 100 actions that end in a shot or a turnover, he's only giving it away about 8 times. That's a ridiculously low number for someone handling the ball as much as he is. And Kyrie, he's right there with him at 8.47 turnover percentage, even though he's taking 20.5 scoring attempts per game. That means he's controlling the ball a ton, but he's still making sure every possession is valuable. Then there's Dinwiddie, who's somehow even better at protecting the ball. His turnover percentage is only 7.86, which is better than 76% of the league. He's only turning it over 1.1 times per game, while still assisting nearly as much as Kyrie. That's an elite combination of efficiency and playmaking. And Najee Marshall, while not as impactful as the others, is still putting up a solid assist percentage of 15.24, creating 6.3 assisted points per game. He's turning the ball over a bit more at 10.23%, but that's still a solid number for a secondary ball handler. Now look at their ball handling rankings. Davis is rated higher than 78% of players, which is ridiculous for a player his size. He's not just catching lobs and finishing inside, he's handling the ball, making moves, and setting up teammates. Kyrie, of course, is elite, ranking higher than 89% of players. That means he's one of the best ball handlers in the entire league. Dinwiddie is right behind him at 86%, which means this team has multiple guys who can initiate the offense. Even Marshall is sitting at 72%, showing that he can step up when needed. This level of playmaking balance is rare. Davis is assisting 8.1 points per game while turning the ball over only 2.2 times. Kyrie is assisting 11.3 while turning it over just 2.3 times. Dinwiddie is assisting 9.3 and barely turning it over at all. That means the ball is going to be moving and every possession is going to be valuable. And look at their shot attempts. Davis is leading the way with 21.5 per game. Kyrie is right behind him at 20.5, and Dinwiddie is only at 9.2. That means Davis and Kyrie are taking most of the shots, but Dinwiddie is still creating for teammates without needing to take a high volume of attempts. That's the perfect fit because it allows Davis to focus on scoring while knowing he's got two elite playmakers feeding him the ball. And here's where it gets even better: efficiency. Davis is already one of the most efficient scorers in the league with a true shooting percentage of 59.9. Kyrie is right there with him at 59.4. And even though Dinwiddie isn't taking as many shots, he's still making the most of his opportunities. That means every time one of these guys gets the ball, there's a high chance it's turning into a bucket. But it's not just about scoring. It's about the total impact. Davis is the focal point, but he's got two elite playmakers in Kyrie and Dinwiddie who can create without turning the ball over. And even Marshall, despite not being on the same level, is still adding to the ball movement. That means every lineup with Davis is going to be fluid, efficient, and impossible to stop. Davis isn't just putting up big numbers. He's playing in a system that maximizes his strengths. He's scoring efficiently, keeping turnovers low, and playing alongside guys who know how to create for him. That means every possession is going to be a nightmare for the defense, and there's no easy way to stop it. The numbers don't lie. This is about to be one of the most dangerous offensive teams in the league, and Davis is right at the center of it all. But where this team really shines in defense, Anthony Davis isn't just putting up elite numbers on offense. His defense is just as dominant, and the numbers prove it. He's ranking higher than 85% of players in mixed team defense, meaning he's not only locking up individual matchups, but also making a massive impact on his team's overall defensive performance. He's putting up 9.1 defensive rebounds per game, blocking 2.1 shots, and grabbing 1.3 steals. That's production at every level. He's protecting the rim, disrupting passing lanes, and cleaning up the glass. But here's what makes this even scarier. He's not doing it alone. PJ Washington is ranking even higher in mixed team defense at 89%, proving he's one of the best all-around defenders on the team. He's adding 1.2 steals, 1 block, and 6.7 defensive rebounds per game. He's not the shot blocker that Davis is, but he's a switchable defender who can guard multiple positions while still making plays on the ball. That means opponents can't just attack one side of the floor. Davis and Washington are both capable of shutting down different types of scorers, whether it's bigs in the paint or perimeter players trying to get open looks. Then there's Derek Lively, who's ranking higher than 96% of players in mixed team defense. That's an insane number, one of the best in the entire league. His team defensive efficiency is sitting at 108.1, meaning when he's on the floor, teams are struggling to score at an elite level. He's blocking 1.7 shots per game, grabbing 4.8 defensive rebounds, and while his steal numbers aren't high at 0.5, his presence alone is forcing opponents into bad shots. He's not a high-volume rebounder like Davis, but his ability to alter shots inside makes him a perfect fit next to him. And then there's Daniel Gafford, who's blocking 1.8 shots per game and ranking higher than 71% of players in mixed team defense. He's not as complete of a defender as Davis or Lively, but he's still a legit rim protector. His team defensive efficiency is at 115.4, which isn't great, but that's more of a reflection of the situations he's been in rather than his actual skill set. He's still swatting shots, grabbing 4.2 defensive rebounds per game and making it difficult for opponents to get easy looks inside. But Davis is the anchor of everything. His team defensive efficiency is at 114.0, meaning opponents are having a hard time scoring when he's on the floor. Lively might have the best rating at 108.1, but Davis is doing this all while also being the focal point of the offense. That's what makes his impact so crazy. He's leading the team in scoring while also shutting down opponents at an elite level. The numbers prove that Davis is the most complete defender on the team. He's blocking more shots than anyone except Gaff, grabbing more defensive rebounds than everyone, and getting more steals than anyone besides Washington. That means he's the most well-rounded defensive player on the roster. And when you combine that with Lively's rim protection, Washington's versatility, and Gafford's shot blocking, this team is going to be a nightmare for opposing offenses. And the best part, every player brings something different to the table. Davis is the all-around defensive leader. He's blocking shots, getting steals, rebounding, and forcing bad shots. Washington is a switchable defender who can guard multiple positions while also adding rebounding and steals. Lively is shutting down the paint with elite rim protection, and Gafford is providing an extra layer of shot blocking to make sure no easy buckets are happening. That means no matter what lineup is on the floor, Davis is always surrounded by strong defenders who complement his skill set perfectly. And when you put all of this together, it's obvious. Davis is the key to making this defense elite. He's the best all-around defender. He's putting up elite numbers in every category, and he's surrounded by guys who can take pressure off him when needed. That means opponents aren't going to have any easy matchups, and Davis is going to be at the center of one of the best defenses in the league. But let's break it down even further. Davis is averaging 9.1 defensive rebounds per game, meaning he's securing almost every miss when he's in position. That's more than Washington's 6.7, more than Lively's 4.8, and more than Gafford's 4.2. That means Davis is the one controlling the glass, making sure opponents don't get second chance opportunities. And when you combine that with his ability to block shots at a high level, it makes him one of the most complete defensive bigs in the game. Now let's talk rim protection. Davis is blocking 2.1 shots per game, which is more than Lively's 1.7, Washington's 1.0, and Gafford's 1.8. That means if opponents try to attack the rim, there's a high chance Davis is meeting them at the top. And even if they get past him, Lively and Gafford are waiting to clean things up. That means teams are going to struggle to score inside every single possession. And the versatility doesn't stop there. Davis is getting 1.3 steals per game, which is more than everyone except Washington. That means he's not just protecting the rim, he's also making plays on the perimeter, disrupting passes, and forcing turnover. That's rare for a big man, and it's why Davis is one of the most complete defenders in the league. Washington is right behind him with 1.2 steals per game, showing that he's just as active defensively. That means opponents have to be careful with the ball because both Davis and Washington are capable of stripping players and turning defense into instant offense. And even though Lively and Gafford aren't getting as many steals, their shot blocking presence is forcing teams to second guess every drive. Now look at team defensive efficiency. Lively leads the way at 108.1, showing that he's the best pure rim protector on the team. Davis is right behind him at 114.0, proving that he's just as impactful while also playing a bigger role on offense. Washington is at 112.3, showing that he's an elite perimeter defender, and Gafford is at 115.4, which is solid, but not quite as dominant. That means when you put them all together, this is one of the best defensive units in the league. Davis is doing it all, blocking shots, grabbing rebounds, getting steals, and shutting down his matchup. Washington is handling the perimeter, Lively is protecting the rim, and Gafford is adding an extra layer of shot blocking. That means no matter who's on the floor, this team is going to be a nightmare for opposing offenses. But then they are equally as great on the boards. Anthony Davis isn't just scoring and defending at an elite level. He's also one of the best rebounders in the league. He's averaging 11.9 rebounds per game, ranking higher than 96% of players. That's dominance on the glass. And the breakdown shows just how valuable he is in every area. He's grabbing 9.1 defensive rebounds per game, meaning he's securing nearly every missed shot when he's in position. But he's not just cleaning up on the defensive end, he's also pulling down 2.8 offensive boards per game, creating extra possessions for a team filled with elite scorers. And Davis isn't the only one making a huge impact on the boards. Derek Lively is averaging 7.8 rebounds per game, ranking higher than 92% of players. And while his total rebounding numbers aren't as high as Davis, his offensive rebounding is insane. He's grabbing 3.1 offensive boards per game, ranking him among the best in the league. His offensive rebounding percentage sits at 12.39, which means nearly 13% of all missed shots when he's on the floor end up in his hands. That's an absurd level of production, especially for a rookie. That means when Davis is focused on defending and scoring, Lively is right there, fighting for extra possessions and keeping the pressure on opposing defenses. Then there's Daniel Gafford, who's another elite offensive rebound. He's averaging 6.9 rebounds per game, ranking higher than 89% of players, but his offensive rebounding numbers are nearly identical to Lively's. He's pulling down 2.7 offensive boards per game, and his offensive rebounding percentage is sitting at 12.41, ranking higher than 96% of players. That means both Lively and Gafford are attacking the glass on offense at an elite level, constantly giving their team second chance opportunities. And PJ Washington, he's averaging 8.4 rebounds per game, ranking higher than 85% of players. His defensive rebounding is especially strong. He's grabbing 6.7 defensive boards per game, showing that he's capable of handling the glass against bigger players. His defensive rebounding percentage is sitting at 18.74, which is better than 83% of the league. That means, even though he's not as dominant on the offensive glass as Lively or Gafford, he's still making sure opponents aren't getting easy second chance opportunities. But Davis is on another level when it comes to rebounding consistency. His defensive rebounding percentage is at 25.33, meaning he's securing more than a quarter of all available defensive boards when he's on the floor. That's more than Lively's 18.42, more than Gafford's 16.94, and more than Washington's 18.74. If a shot goes up and Davis is in position, there's almost no chance the other team is getting the rebound, and on the offensive glass, he's just as effective. His offensive rebounding percentage is sitting at 8.72, ranking higher than 85% of players. That means nearly 9% of all missed shots while he's on the floor are being rebounded by him. Lively and Gafford might have slightly higher offensive rebounding percentages, but Davis is doing this while also being the primary scorer. That means he's not just cleaning up missed shots, he's getting his own buckets and still managing to create extra possessions. But the real advantage comes from how all of these players complement each other. Davis is an elite all-around rebounder. Lively and Gafford are monsters on the offensive glass, and Washington is locking down the D-boards. That means no matter what lineup is on the floor, this team is always going to have an advantage in rebounding. If opponents try to crash the offensive glass, Davis and Washington are there to secure the rebound and push the ball in transition. If they try to prevent second chance points, Lively and Gafford are going to fight for extra possessions. That means teams aren't just battling Davis, they're battling an entire front court that's built to dominate the board. And this balance makes Davis even more dangerous. He doesn't have to grab every rebound himself because he's surrounded by other elite rebounders. That means he can focus on scoring, defending, and playmaking, knowing that Lively, Gafford, and Washington are handling the dirty work, and when he does crash the boards, he's doing it at a higher level than almost anyone in the league. The numbers prove it. Davis is one of the best rebounders in the game, and he's playing in a system that maximizes his strength. He's leading the charge, but he's got teammates who are keeping the pressure on at all times. That means every game is going to be a battle on the glass, and this team is built to win that fight every single time. And this isn't just about rebounding totals, it's about efficiency. Davis is securing nearly 25% of all available defensive rebounds, meaning when a shot goes up, he's making sure the other team doesn't get a second chance. And his offensive rebounding is just as important. He's grabbing nearly 9% of all available offensive boards, meaning he's giving his team extra possessions while also being the main scoring threat. Lively and Gafford, meanwhile, are leading the charge in offensive rebounding efficiency. Both players are securing over 12% of available offensive boards, meaning they're grabbing second chances at an elite rate. That means even when Davis isn't the one getting the rebound, his presence alone is opening up lanes for his teammates to crash the glass. And Washington is providing a steady balance, making sure the team stays strong on the defensive boards while still contributing on offense. That means this team isn't just going to be good at rebounding, they're going to be dominant. They have multiple players ranking among the best rebounders in the league, and they all bring something different to the table. Davis is the leader, controlling the glass on both ends. Lively is an elite offensive rebounder who's going to create extra possessions. Gafford is another relentless presence on the glass, making sure no easy rebounds go uncontested. And Washington is a versatile rebounder who can play multiple roles depending on what the team needs. And the best part, this is going to create a massive advantage in transition. When Davis or Washington secures a defensive rebound, they're going to have instant options to push the pace. Kyrie and Clay are waiting for outlet passes, ready to fire from deep. Lively and Gafford are sprinting down the floor, looking for easy dunks. That means every rebound is going to turn into an opportunity to score. This is what makes Davis so special. He's not just leading the team in rebounding, he's making it easier for everyone else to do their jobs. He's securing the boards, setting the tone defensively, and giving the team extra possessions when they need them. And when you look at the numbers, it's clear. This isn't just a great rebounding team. This is one of the most well-balanced front courts in the entire league. Davis is the key to everything. He's the best all-around rebounder, but he's also surrounded by players who complement his skill set perfectly. That means opponents aren't just going to struggle to keep up with Davis. They're going to have a hard time keeping up with the entire team. And when you've got a rebounding unit this strong, the advantage is going to be massive every single night. But then I want to talk about their usage. Anthony Davis isn't just leading the team in scoring, he's controlling nearly every aspect of the offense. His usage rate sits at 30.6%, ranking higher than 96% of players, meaning nearly 1 out of every 3 offensive plays ends with him taking a shot, drawing a foul, making a pass, or turning the ball over. That's an insane workload, and yet he's handling it efficiently. He's taking 18.1 shots per game, getting to the free throw line 7.6 times, and still finding a way to set up teammates with 3.4 assists. His turnover numbers are low at just 2.2 per game, meaning he's not wasting possessions, despite being the focal point of the offense. But Davis isn't the only one carrying a heavy offensive load. Kyrie is right behind him, with a usage rate of 26.7%, ranking higher than 89% of players. He's actually taking more shots than Davis at 18.6 per game, but he's not getting to the free throw line as often, averaging just 4 attempts per game. However, where Kyrie shines is his ability to create for others. He's leading the team with 4.8 assists per game while maintaining a turnover rate nearly identical to Davis at just 2.3 per game. That means he's not just scoring, he's making sure the offense stays fluid, keeping defenses on edge with his ability to break down defenders and find open teammates. Now, enter Klay Thompson, who plays a completely different role, but is just as important to the team's offensive system. His usage rate is at 21.4%, ranking higher than 70% of players, which shows that while he isn't dominating possessions like Davis or Kyrie, he's still making a major impact. He's taking 11.8 shots per game, and nearly all of them are jumpers. But what stands out the most? He's getting to the free throw line just 0.9 times per game. That means he's doing almost all of his scoring without relying on easy points at the line. He's taking tough shots, but because of his shooting ability, he's making sure every possession he's involved in is valuable. Meanwhile, PJ Washington is providing another layer of offensive balance with a usage rate of 19.4%, ranking higher than 61% of players. He's taking the same amount of shots per game as Klay at 11.8, but he's attacking the basket far more often, leading to 3.2 free throw attempts per game. That means while Klay is spacing the floor with perimeter jumpers, Washington is putting pressure on the defense by slashing inside and drawing fouls. And even though he's not a primary playmaker, he's still averaging 2.3 assists per game, while keeping his turnovers low at just 1.9. He's playing smart, efficient basketball, fitting perfectly into an offense that already has high usage stars. Now look at Spencer Dinwiddie. He's another key piece to this offense, but he's playing a much different role. His usage rate is at 17.7%, ranking higher than 51% of players. He's only taking 7.9 shots per game, meaning he's not looking to score as much as the other guys. Instead, he's contributing in other ways, getting to the free throw line 2.8 times per game and leading the second unit with 3.7 assists per game. His turnover rate is extremely low at just 1.1 per game, proving he's one of the most reliable ball handlers on the team. That means when he's on the floor, he's making sure everything runs smoothly, whether it's setting up teammates or getting to the line himself. Najee Marshall is playing a similar role with a usage rate identical to Washington's at 19.4%. He's taking 8.9 shots per game, getting to the free throw line 1.7 times, and averaging 2.6 assists per game. His turnovers are a little higher than Dinwiddie's at 1.4, but he's still making a positive impact when he's on the floor. He's another player who doesn't need the ball in his hands constantly, but can still be effective when given the opportunity. Then there's Derek Lively, who has the lowest usage rate on the team at just 13.7%, ranking lower than 80% of players. But that's exactly what makes him so valuable. He's taking just 5.5 shots per game and getting to the free throw line 2.2 times, meaning he's scoring efficiently without needing a ton of touches. He's also averaging 2.6 assists per game, which is impressive for a low usage big man. His turnover rate is low at just 1.2 per game, meaning he's making smart decisions every time he gets the ball. Daniel Gafford has a slightly higher usage rate at 19%, ranking higher than 60% of players. He's taking 7.3 shots per game, getting to the free throw line 3.5 times, and averaging 1.4 assists per game. His turnover numbers are nearly identical to Lively's at 1.2, meaning he's another low mistake player who's making the most of his opportunities. But everything revolves around Davis. He's the one with the highest usage rate, the most consistent scoring volume, and the ability to create offense without making costly mistakes. When you combine that with Kyrie's elite shot creation, Klay's off-ball shooting, Washington's aggressive slashing, and the steady playmaking of Dinwiddie, Marshall, Lively, and Gafford, this offense is one of the most well-balanced in the league. And the best part? Davis isn't just carrying the team, he's thriving in a system that maximizes his strengths. He's playing in a lineup where every player understands their role, and because of that, every possession is dangerous for the defense. When Davis has the ball, he's either scoring, getting to the line, or making the right pass. When Kyrie has it, he's breaking down defenders and finding open shooters. When Klay touches it, he's letting it fly from deep. And when Washington, Dinwiddie, Marshall, Lively, or Gafford get involved, they're making smart, efficient plays that keep the offense flowing. This is what makes this team so dangerous. There's no wasted movement, no unnecessary possessions, and no selfish play. Davis is leading the charge, but the entire team is moving in sync, creating a system that forces the defense to make impossible choices. If they focus on Davis inside, Kyrie and Klay are waiting on the perimeter. If they try to shut down the three-point line, Davis is getting easy buckets in the paint. If they try to stop both, Washington, Dinwiddie, and Marshall are attacking the gaps, and Lively and Gafford are fighting for extra possessions. And this isn't just about raw scoring numbers, it's about how efficiently this team is running its offense. Davis is handling the heaviest workload, but he's doing it without turning the ball over at a high rate. Kyrie is balancing scoring and playmaking, keeping defenses guessing. Klay is playing the perfect off-ball role, spacing the floor and hitting shots without needing a ton of possessions. Washington is bringing the physicality, drawing fouls, and adding versatility. Dinwiddie, Marshall, Lively, and Gafford are all making smart decisions, playing their roles, and keeping everything balanced. And that's what makes this team nearly impossible to stop. No single player has to do too much because everyone is contributing in exactly the way they need to. Davis is at the center of it all, leading the team with a high usage rate, but the system around him is built for sustained offensive success. Every lineup, every combination, every possession, it's all designed to put pressure on the defense, and the numbers show just how effective it is. The numbers don't lie. This is an offense built for dominance. Davis is leading the way, but he's got the perfect pieces around him to make sure every game is a nightmare for opposing defenses. The balance, the efficiency, the versatility. It's all coming together in a way that makes this team one of the most dangerous in the league. And with Davis at the helm, this offense isn't just good, it's going to be nearly unstoppable. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.